let's talk about AO.
Yeah.
Because we're here. Obviously, AO's growth trajectory has been really interesting. It's been long term. But if you were to plot it like this versus really pinning down the brand and really kind of amplifying the brand in the right way, like how has that? Can you talk a little bit about how that process has aligned with the growth trajectory?
Yeah. So AO's been around for 20 odd years, and I have not. I've been around for about 7 odd, and being in the role I'm doing a few. So brand has always played a really important part of AO's sort of growth. We work for our chief exec, John Roberts, is the founder of the business, which is extremely helpful because you sit down with him for 5 minutes and you get our brand, you understand it, you understand what he's trying to do. So that kind of internal manifestation of our brand exists every single day within our business, which is a joy when you're a brand person because you're not trying to transform a business. It's done. Yep. I just have to codify it. I just have to write it down, and so it's relatively simple for us to do that. But so brand has always been a core focus of AO, definitely headed up by John, and making decisions that have always aligned with that. So that's always worked. I suppose what AO has done, if we're talking about sort of brand investment and the growth of AO alongside...
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Alongside AO is, it's long term. It's not happened overnight for AO. They've been going 20 years, kind of good at it. And we dial up and dial down the brand investment as and when required, and for when we really need to activate the brand and get more what we call fame internally, and we use channels appropriately. So our brand investment that we do is long term, definitely. So you'll know we do things like the AO Arena.
Yep.
It's a 10-year sponsorship. That ain't happening overnight. I mean, we have seen some decent results, but it's not an overnight thing. So trying to think the brand investment will catapult your brand to be famous within a week is a misnomer. There's lots of academic marketing books out there that talk about your share of voice versus your share in market, and that you have to be above that to have a decent share of voice and to grow your market share. And that's definitely something that you have to do, but there aren't many businesses that can overinvest like that. So I think cutting your cloth accordingly is also really good. But when it comes to brand investment, it's long term. It's always on, and then you flex the other channels depending on what your business objectives are that year.
So given that it's long term,
yes,
how do you know you're on the right track? Yeah. So the AO Arena sponsorship, TV campaigns, big brand campaigns, I don't know. Let's imagine a scenario where you've tweaked the positioning, or you've done something, you need to amplify the brand.
Yeah.
One of the moments that you've mentioned come up, go for it. Like you say, you're not going to do that now and see the results tomorrow.
No.
At all.
No.
So how, in that gap, how do you know that you're on the right path? Like, how do you hold your nerve? Like, what does the gap look like?
The gap can be long. The gap can be short. And there are a few techniques that we use. There's no golden bullet. There's not one measure that you go, there you go, nailed it. If there was, someone would have done it already. But we use a suite of KPIs, metrics, to give us confidence that we're heading in the right direction. So we have an always on, and most businesses do, most larger businesses have an always on brand tracking. So that's measuring your awareness amongst UK consumers. It's not a cheap thing to do, so it's only for sort of larger businesses. It only tends to work for businesses that are already on that trajectory of being famous anyway. But it's a good measure that gives people like me confidence that my brand isn't going backwards, that we're moving forwards. That's a long-term measure again, though. So although we do dips every month, we only look at it every quarterly. And actually, you probably only really report on it every 6 months to know that you're doing it. But there are other measures. So another one I love is the number of direct visitors to site. So that is people typing in AO.com rather than typing in washing machine.
Yep.
That is a key indicator for me on how famous we are. And that will give you the green shoots as well, especially when you're doing brand campaigns. So if you imagine we're doing one of these spikes around, we're spending some money on brand campaigns, that's the kind of stuff that gives you confidence, because all of a sudden you're thinking, I am in someone's brain. Someone is thinking of me first rather than just typing in the product that they want.
So interesting. Do you look at other signals as well? So, I don't know, growth in social audience, growth in brand search, growth, those types of things.
Yep.
I love that phrase of like being in someone's brain that you can tell, can't you? I guess. Yeah. That's
Definitely. And social's also a really interesting one, isn't it? Because years ago, absolutely would have put all your money in the fact that you'd grown a ton of social followers. But again, customers have got wise to the fact that brands are on there now and we're paying for a load of stuff. So yes, it is. I suppose what I look at more from a social point of view is more to do with the engagement, more to do with, are we creating content that people are interacting with rather than a massive growth in followers. Although some of the channels we are seeing huge growth in, but your likes of Facebook and Instagram and things, for example, they're just steadying along and doing fine. But it's more for me, for those bits, the how can we get customers to interact with us? How can we get them to comment? How can we get them to have conversations with us online about, I don't know, what's your favourite cup of coffee?
I'm thinking about when I shopped with AO.
Yeah. Hope it was good.
It was very good.
Of course it was.
And how it felt like just an obvious choice.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned the brand's been going 20 years. This isn't an overnight thing. Yet here we are, and AO, if you're looking for an appliance, if you're looking for some, whatever it is, it's an obvious choice.
Yes.
Even though Curry's is down the road.
Yes.
There's someone else down there, and there's something else over there, and there's something else over there, but AO is an obvious choice. Like, how do you... I mean, this is a massive question. And but how do you go from A to B? Like, how do you start that process of kind of making sure you're an obvious choice? You've mentioned the word fame a lot in this episode, but there's also it's not just how loud you say it, but it's what you say as well.
Agree, yeah.
And how do you do that?
I think the consistency is key. I think, again, like I've said, knowing who you are is key. So knowing who you are and then yelling it loudly. So we are a brand that acts with integrity, keeps our promises. We're a trusted brand, so we say it. We make sure people understand that. And I think one of the things, and kind of going back to growth of a brand and what you've done, is that your customers can also be in two buckets. It isn't, when you talk about growth, it isn't necessarily just about bringing in brand new customers. It's about making sure that the customers who have used you have a cracking experience so they can go off and do a job for you as well. So your brand new customers come in, they have the service, and then they go and tell people that they really like the service that you had. And guess what? They also come back to you again, and then they've returned twice, and then they have another cracking experience, and they go, well, you should probably use AO, and then they come back again. So I think it's that evolving cycle of, this isn't about acquiring brand new customers all the time, although, you definitely do. It's about making sure that your service is actually good so that when they use you, they use you again and tell other people. That's the circle that you need to get into. That's the focus that you need to get into. And again, going back to brand, if you're not weird about your service, if you're not focused on who you are and what you do, you can get a little bit disconnected with that because the cash has come in and you're just kind of, someone else will deliver that. But actually we make sure that when you've placed that order, that you will get that product when we said we were going to deliver it. And the people that are going to rock up to your door are going to be a couple of nice people, and they're going to be friendly, and they're going to be nice, and they may even give you a teddy bear, and then they'll go away. And then our chief exec talks a lot about the best service is no service. It should go through just smooth. You should be able to just buy something and it rock up on time and work. That's it.
If you look at what you're selling,
yes,
right, it's not, washing machines aren't the most exciting things.
How dare you?
You notice when they're gone, though.
100%.
Right. So how do you make an everyday item interesting?
Yeah.
Because you look at AO's not a boring brand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? but some of the products, there's functional products, right?
Agree.
So how do you go about that?
I think like you mentioned, the especially the big products that we sell are a core part of our customers' lives. If your TV stops working, if your hairdryer stops working, if your fridge stops working, you know about it, and you quickly want to replace it. How we talk around those appliances is using those customer stories and helping our customers use the product that they want to use. So when we had the hike in energy prices, for example, and actually that's a core problem that our customers are facing. How am I going to pay my electricity and gas bill because it's gone up significantly in price? We spent quite a lot of time talking to our customers around, energy efficient appliances, around what spin cycles to put them in, around, and that was, if you kind of looked at our social during that time, we were doing that a lot.
Massively helpful.
100%. When you think about the air fryer craze that happened, it's about being there, about creating content that makes our customers quite excited about their air fryer. So it's, we did one that was like how to cook your Christmas dinner in the air fryer. Brilliant. About quick and fast recipes. So I think the core of us is that we make all of that tech quite simple, and we put it into normal human language. So this isn't about bamboozling customers with spin cycles and, QLED and OLED TVs. It's about, look at this cracking TV. It's an amazing picture. You can watch sport on it, or look at this TV. It's an amazing one for gaming. So it's about taking all of that stuff that manufacturers do and that the brands do, and making it mega, mega simple, and helping a customer get the right product for them, regardless of their budget, regardless of the space that they have in the home, and helping them get the right product.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And as well, you've got different emotional states to deal with, right? So something like an air fryer.
Yes.
It could be an emotional purchase. Like, I want one. I've got to jump on the back of this craze. It's going to be amazing. I really want to add one to my kitchen.
Yeah.
Quite an exciting purchase, actually. Whereas, a dishwasher, I've never planned to buy one.
No.
They've just broken on me. And then I've gone, oh my goodness, I need to replace this quickly. And it's much more of not a panic purchase, or like if fridge goes, you got to get one in quick, right?
Yeah, so we call them distress purchases.
Yeah.
So how can you help a customer quite quickly get over that distress purchase? Well, it's helping them find the right product, and it's being able to deliver it mega quick, like nailed. And also, we'll install it for you, and also we'll take away your old one.
Yeah.
So actually, from an AO point of view, when you're in that distress purchase, we make it quite simple for you to get over that distress purchase quite quickly, with a bunch of people who'll do it in a really nice way.
Yeah.
But you're right, when it comes to things like gaming, or even perhaps TVs, or, I don't know, hair care products, or that, actually that's more of a want state. So actually, how can you make sure that you're getting the best brands at the best price? And actually, it should be quite an exciting purchase, all the way through to like gifting. When you come to Christmas and you need to buy the kids a new gaming console, how can we help you make the right decision so that during that gifting process, actually that's quite mega exciting, knowing that you're going to be giving the kids a brilliant present at Christmas. And you're right, our brand is and our website and our comms are able to flex depending on the customer problem and how we can solve it.
To wrap up, let's say you parachuted into a business.
Yeah.
It's doing an okay job. It's got a customer base. Everything's kind of all right. But there's no brand awareness. There's no brand fame. People outside the circle don't really know who they are. If you got like one, maybe two big pieces of advice for someone in that situation, like getting started, getting the amplification going, getting a little bit of fame, what would you recommend?
I think the first thing is know who you are. Understand what your brand is. Fix all of the problems that you know exist within your business. Don't hide them, because they're going to be exposed. The more famous you are, we talk about shining a light on this stuff. That will happen. If you get famous, people will see your mistakes and your faults even louder than before. So fix them. And then the second one is understand how your customers are consuming media and be there. So whether they're out of market, depending on what you can afford. But if you're out of market, if you're close to purchase, and when you're in market, make sure you are in every single space. Make sure from top to bottom they can see you and recognize you. So again, consistency is key. Make sure that your expression is on point, and be in all of those places and connect all the dots for the customers.
Amazing. Look, Arafa, thank you so much for joining. That was really interesting. Thank you to everyone for listening in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.